Alright, so I'm having to kind of redo this again because, well, I didn't have any game audio for it, and I didn't want to leave that out. Not that the audio is great and all, but, well, you'll see. Oh yes, Lunar Pool. This was just one of those things I actually saw the, what? No. Let's go back to one. I saw that somebody posted a long play of another pool simulation game, Side Pockets. And I saw it come up on the long play account on YouTube just the other day, yesterday maybe. And I thought, wow, I remember playing the crap out of that game. And then I was like, oh, I remember another pool game that I played a lot of, and it was this particular title, good old Lunar Pool, which I really only played a lot of because it had the goofy, well, you'll see, it has not just one table. It actually has like 60 different variants of pool table, and now it is kind of real small, you know, only 6 ball or maybe up to 9 I think is the highest it gets up to, but the tables themselves all change, and really that's kind of the challenge of this particular game. It all comes from making these little difficult shots that come not from, you know, the real difficulty of hitting angles and all that, but just really the unfamiliarity of the table itself. I mean, unless you play this game a lot, you're not going to know what's coming up next. And I mean, yeah, there's still the whole knowing the angles deal that pool is all about, but a lot of this comes from, a lot of the difficulty in this comes from having to deal with these real odd tables, and the physics in the game are a little off. I mean, they're kind of floaty already before you even, you know, start messing with the physics. They're also a little bit more simplistic, so I mean, you can't really get a lot of angle shots, or you can't really get a lot of real cuts with your shots that you might with actual pool, but you can also get some real weird things that happen, like where balls can actually hit dead on and ricochet back towards each other ad nauseum, because I mean, it literally, the physics doesn't seem to understand that 2 round objects probably won't, you know, hit each other quite so perfectly every time, that they somehow, you know, always hit each other again and again and again. I'll explain it if it comes up, but I think maybe you understand, like, you know, 2 or 3 balls in a combo that just keep bouncing off walls into each other back and forth perfectly in a line. It's just real awkward. That's not good. You only get so many shots up there that little shot meter tells you how many shots you actually get to, how many shots you get without making a ball, and as long as you make a ball, you don't lose a shot off your counter. If you scratch, you actually lose an entire ball, that little ball up there, and you only get 3 of those. So, not a very good thing to do. I didn't think I was gonna make that. Like I said, the real play of this comes from the tables, just from the oddities that show up in later levels, especially. Also, the computer loves to do some real weird, random stuff that, I don't know, it's like somebody just kind of programmed the game to do some really stupid things sometimes. I'm not sure why, but maybe you'll see it happen if we're lucky. The previous playthrough, I actually had the computer shoot, like, intentionally shoot itself into one of the pockets for some weird random reason. Right. not doing too bad. I can't really make that shot though. Let's try for that. No, darn. Well, damn. But yeah, I definitely wanted this music. I mean, it's not really anything great or, you know, something that really stands out unless you've played this game before. I mean, it does kind of have a little bit of a driving, haunting theme sometimes. It's very memorable if you ever actually played this as a kid. That being said, it's, you know, it can get really old if you're doing badly at this game. No. Well, I was close, but not close enough. Oh. But yeah, like I said, really the most interesting thing about this is the ability to kind of change the, well, okay, the tables are actually probably the most interesting, but the ability to change the physics and kind of tweak the gameplay experience was actually pretty interesting for what is essentially a real early, was it a real early NES game? It was a fairly early game, pretty sure. Don't check my facts on that. I'm not a politician running for office, so I might be entirely wrong. I just remember playing this game a lot as a kid and having it from, you know, several different times. I guess the part of the story goes essentially that back in, you know, the early days of video games, or, you know, home video games, like consoles wise, you didn't really have a lot of what? Oh, that must have been I didn't see that. It might have been my last shot on that ball. You didn't have a lot of rental places that had, or rather, it wasn't like, I don't think a lot of the chain places had video games yet at that time. So we had here in this area, maybe other places had it too, we had Aardvark Video. It was a little corner joint up in a like a strip mall, and it had actually a surprising large selection of Nintendo games. But the problem is that, like, they only had one of every game. So if you really wanted, you know, let's say a Final Fantasy title or Super Mario 3, there was a good chance that somebody had to check that out, because, like I said, there wasn't a huge amount of places that you could rent games at. Well, it was one of those things where you kind of went to the store or went to the rental place expecting to get X game or Y game, and you oh great, that alright. Okay. I should have mentioned that I really hate that table a lot because it's just really badly designed. Well, the balls are laid out terribly. You know what? Let's do one more quick game. I'll skip. You know what? Let's go to table 15. I'm sure it'll be pretty short because the tables get more and more crazy. Okay. 5 balls, huh? Alright. But yeah, to finish my story, you went into the place expecting to get, you know, XYZ games. If those games weren't out, you're in, you pretty much had to settle for what you knew, and there was always, you know, you didn't really want, there was a lot of games back then that were just like really bad, you know, cash in licensed titles for, you know, game shows and movies, and as a kid, unless you really ever saw those movies, you would have no interest in, you know, Mission Impossible, the game, or, you know, if you never saw the TV show, you'd never want to play A-Team, or none of those games really stood out, you know, as a kid. So you ended up finding some games like this. As a kid, I ended up going to a lot of, no, not a lot, one particular pool hall with my dad, and pool became one of those things that was like cool to do because, you know, there's pool tables there, but there was video games there, and it was, you know, this fun thing to do. So whenever we got to the rental place, and, you know, there wasn't a game there that, you know, that really stood out or something that I wanted to try, it ended up, I don't know how that worked. That shouldn't have worked. But, you know, if there wasn't anything there I wanted to try, there was always a good chance that Lunar Pool was there. And I probably rented this game half a dozen times at least. There was also, you know, the occasional times where you go in there and I'd be like, oh, rent 2 get 1 free, or, you know, that sort of deal. So it was always well, I want to play this game and that game, I get a free one, let's grab Lunar Pool again. Why not? Maybe I can challenge somebody to play this absurd pool game with me. Usually that wasn't the case, but still, like I said, it was just a catchy enough game, and again, a nostalgia type title. One of those things where I should have hit it harder. That all that stuff just kind of came together, and bam, weird pool game. Let's see. I'm gonna try this because it's absurd enough to work, but it isn't because I'm not very good with angles apparently. Wah, wah. Well, okay, so the computer's gonna do something stupid. Good job. Not that this leaves me much of a shot or anything, but so yeah, the computer does do some really stupid things. It does have the tendency sometimes to play like a 14-year-old who's never actually played pool before. It'll just aim for a ball and shoot as hard as it can, regardless of the fact that it actually can't shoot through a bumper or whatever it's actually aiming at. Interesting. Alright, not bad, not bad. Let's see if I can put this in there. I'm gonna consider myself the winner. Alright, I just won. That was it. That was me winning. Alright, yeah, I gotta finish this out. Okay. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I can run this table. I could have run this table. That one, you know what? I might still be able to do it. No, damn. Damn. Well, I was close. Curse you! I'm shaking my fist so hard at the computer right now. Alright. They do actually happen to repeat some tables now and then, because this one in particular was actually in that first video. It was just laid out differently. Or the balls were laid out differently, that is. Like I said, the computer does do some really stupid things sometimes. It's just like nobody decided to program the AI with any sort of, you know, safety shot sort of ability. So now, I guess that's about all I can do, really. Oh, great, that was the ball. That's kind of one of the things I forget to pay attention to at all in this game, is my shot, or how many shots I've got left before I lose a life, as it were, in this pool table. Oh, damn it, so close. Alright, you know what? Let us scrap this and... yeah. Let's scrap this and restart just to try out the good old frictionless ball. Or rather, I usually put it down to like 1 friction or 2 friction. That way at least there's a rare chance that I can actually hit all the balls in and still win. Of course, not very likely, but hey, it's worth a try. Well, not quite as I'd intended, but hey, I was pretty much shooting blind there, so haha. That's what happens when you play with, you know, 1 friction on the break. There's a chance that you could just hit, you know, half the balls in each and every shot. Hey. The computer will do the exact same thing. Oh, we'll have to sit here and watch it. Alright, well. So yeah, I've got a couple more Spacebox videos sitting around ready to be edited. I'm gonna put a bit of music in the background with those. I have some Dwarf Fortress to do. I haven't recorded that yet, but we'll get to it this week. I'll actually get to it earlier if people push for it, but for now, Pool, Spacebox, Dwarf Fortress. I still need to finish Section Z, and then, I don't know, maybe a vacation. Oh boy. Until next time, folks, have a good one.